I go to New Jersey to work on my first film. We were arguing about me being busy before I left, which never happened for 10 months, just happened for 3 weeks. I go to New Jersey to work on this movie. We still arguing. She said, I'm leaving. I said, what do you mean? Because I never heard her say that way. Because we do know the difference. When you mad, saying some shit because you mad. You know, we all say shit we don't mean when we mad. But I heard something different in her voice.
With that situation, because you're starting over, bro. You're starting over.
Well, you're gonna be raising 2 kids, 23-year-old and the
Yo,
baby,
right? Like,
because that's a kid. Yo,
no
speaking
knocking
of
on
that,
23-year-olds. We
speaking
love
of
y'all.
secure the bag, did you guys see what the just off the cuff of my thoughts? Tiger Woods, his girlfriend trying to sue for $30 million because he switched the locks when they
kicked
kicked
her
out.
out?
Yeah, broke up with her. Then I'm like, oh, he promised me that
Yeah, he had a
I can
prenup, didn't he? Oh,
No,
not a
they weren't
prenup.
even- they were girlfriends.
Some
NDA,
yeah, some type of
NDA.
Thank you.
Like, yo, you can't be discussing any of my business in the streets. And she was like,
and
30
he
million.
let her stay there for like a year or something, or even more.
No, yeah, I don't know how long he let her stay. All I know, he was like, yo, let's go on this vacation.
Oh yeah.
Switch
She got
the
to
locks.
airport.
Switch the locks. He was done with her. And then she was like, oh, I got to sue for $30 million because he promised me that I can stay here for a couple of years. Why is he gonna let you stay in his multi-million-dollar home in I think it's Florida? But I'm like, girl, you were like a waitress. You were a girlfriend. The fact that you even think you have rights is crazy to any of his assets.
Now here's the thing: if he promised that and she can prove it,
Nah,
go
it
for
don't
it.
matter,
I'm
bro.
not mad
I
at
think-
you, but like this entitlement factor, like, all right, well, you know, we had a good time and that is done now, but hey, I'm gonna stay here. I somehow deserve this. That's a whole nother. It's a whole nother story.
She's
All right.
probably hoping that he settles.
Right?
You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah,
if you
publicity.
If
Right.
you sue for 30, you might get 2 or 1 to shut up.
Or,
to
or
be
right. Or
quiet.
sometimes just the bad publicity isn't worth it. It's like, here, take a little something and go away. But
Okay, but the fact that you can even go to court for this, or what do you call it?
Because our
Civil court,
yeah,
right?
our legal systems.
It's ridiculous because I mean, think of it like he can put on the table, hey, you promised, let's say we had all this thing, you promised to have sex with me every night. You didn't do it, 10 nights or 100 nights that we were together for X amount of years. Can he sue her for that? You know what I'm saying? There's so many people, we make
I
promises,
agree.
empty promises to each other. So he could say, hey, I thought I was going to be with you forever. Does she get to sue him because it turns out his taste changed, she changed, they both changed, and he no longer wants a relationship? I mean, all right, let's
Well, I think
flip it.
it's based on the conditions, right? So if it's one of those deals where maybe they split and it was on good terms, and he's like, yo, I know you like this spot. I know you're going through something right now. I'm going to let you stay here for a couple of years till you get yourself together. And she makes arrangements around that, around that understanding. And then it's just like, oh, yeah, meet me at the airport. And he changes the locks. I kind of see where she maybe has a little something there. But if none of that was agreed to and, there is no there's nothing that she can't prove, then like, nah, why are you even going through this? Like, I agree with you, Ray. I think the hopes is, to get something out of it. But that's crazy to me. Like,
But you
start fresh. Like, find love. Go like the energy you're investing in this is
Exactly.
It's crazy to me.
So we discussing this, right? And we're like thinking like logically,
Right.
And just thinking with common sense, right?
Right.
But there are a lot of laws out there we're not aware of where people can sue for things that we think that it shouldn't even be possible. But they're like crazy laws that we have no idea about, as far as just like, I don't know about this specifically, but there are laws we have no idea that can be on her side for the situation.
I agree with you. The fact that she's got a legal team that's representing her means that somebody somewhere feels that something can come out of this, right?
I mean, it could be
Yeah,
something.
it's called an ambulance chaser lawyer.
I mean,
But, you and
possibly.
Tiger Woods, that's all it is. I'm just tired of people like you know what it,
Nightcrawler?
yeah. I'm just tired. Yeah, no, exactly. That movie Nightcrawler. Exactly.
That was a great movie. by
Oh,
the
it
way.
was. I'm tired of people just not feeling, like you said, entitled, not earning shit. Like, at the end of the day, even with his wife, you know, yeah, he was unfaithful and whatever. But damn, was she entitled to half of his fortune when she didn't swing a club? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you're entitled to, yes, some money, but damn, you're not entitled to the man's earnings where he's breaking sweat. He's busted. He's the one getting surgery. He's the one at countless hours, right?
What the law say?
The law, but I'm saying, I don't care what the law. I'm just saying, I know what the law say, but it doesn't make sense. It's like, damn, yo, all you got to do is you know, get married with someone and you're entitled to half of their fortune. And here's the thing, even with Tyrese, even you guys heard with the thing with Tyrese, right? So he's with his wife. He is married to her for years. They have a child together. He's talking on shows now about it, but she apparently, like, his mother was sick. She was dying. And he was like, yo, I'm going to start getting back into music. And apparently she was insecure about that. She wanted him to, like, just give him all the focus. And he gave 2 years of COVID, like, all the energy on her. And he's like, oh, I'm going to get back into my music and start doing movies again. Well, long and behold, one day he's on a movie set. Like, keep in mind, his mom's sick. She's going through cancer, whatever she was doing. She was literally dying. And she was like, oh, I'm leaving. This thing is over. While he's on a movie set, he had to tell the people, hey, I got to fly back to Atlanta to save my family.
I go to New Jersey to work on my first film. We were arguing about me being busy before I left, which never happened for 10 months. Just happened for 3 weeks. I go to New Jersey to work on this movie. We still arguing. She said, I'm leaving. I said, what do you mean? Because I never heard her say that way. Because we do know the difference. When you mad, saying some shit because you mad. You know, we all say shit we don't mean when we mad. But I heard something different in her voice. And I left my movie set 3 hours before I was supposed to wrap because it was the last flight out. They threatened to sue me for $750 grand because I was supposed to be in all of those scenes. But it was the last direct flight from Jersey to Atlanta. And I said, respectfully, fuck you. Nothing matters more than my family and my marriage. And my wife is telling me she's going to leave me and I need to get home and do whatever it takes to make sure she don't leave me. My daughter was 1 year old at the time. My family is all I had.
He flew there. While he's on the plane, this chick cleared out the house and left with this kid. And then she was like, so she had the kid and they finally going through divorce, whatever. But apparently she wanted to get back together. I don't know, something like that. He was like, no, I'm good. He didn't really trust her or whatever. But she would not reconcile with him, not come there and let him talk and see what's going on. So they had a prenup.
Under penalty of perjury. So now, in closing, there was a paragraph in my prenuptial agreement that clearly states that after we signed a 75, 85-page prenuptial agreement and document, we didn't just sign the last page. We signed and put our signature on the corner of every page of the document. She had her own lawyer. I never hired her. I never paid the retainer for her attorney that did her prenup. I did mine. She did hers. We both had our own individual counsel to go over everything and all of the terms of this prenuptial agreement. One of the terms in the prenuptial agreement, I'm only speaking on this because this is public knowledge. One of the terms inside the prenuptial agreement that no lawyer, no judge, nobody could undo or change is that if Samantha wants to argue about the realness or the validity or the legal binding document called a prenuptial agreement, if she wants to argue anything about anything that we signed off on and put our signatures on, then Samantha Gibson is 100% responsible for covering all of her own legal fees pertaining to arguing about anything that has to do with the validity of our prenuptial agreement. She argued about the prenuptial agreement. She argued about terms in the prenup. It's called a contested versus a non-contested. If it's non-contested, We're not arguing about anything. These documents is real. It's 100% facts. She knew what she signed. I knew what I signed. It's not non-contested. If it's a contested divorce, if it's a contested prenuptial agreement, then now you're saying some of the things that I signed off on, I'd like to present it and I want to argue about. We can't argue about a prenuptial agreement. Prenuptial agreement, not post-nuptial, prenuptial. A prenuptial agreement says prior to us exchanging our nuptials, prenuptial, we understand that if we ever break up, this marriage dissolve, anything ever happen, there are no child custody terms in a prenup. That's for the court to deal with.
He was giving her $2,000, whatever, a month, whatever. And the court system, the judge was like, nah, they had a prenup. This thing was like, yo, you owe $635,000 in back pay. And he's like, we have a prenup. She makes over $100,000 a year. Our child doesn't only need this. Is what our child, this is what we agreed to. I take care of my child, but here, I'm giving her that. So that's an extra, what, 26,000 or whatever a year. Am I wrong? 26,000, 24, 26,000 a year, 24,000 a year, right? That he's giving her just for the child.
Okay.
I was like, nah, you got to be, I think he's like 20 grand or 16 grand or something.
But based on what is
But he had a
is
prenup.
that back pay based on care for the child? It sounds like maybe it's child related, not necessarily alimony.
But doesn't the prenup?
It's supposed to.
It's before you get married, not after.
Nah, it's prenup is before. Yeah, so you had a prenup.
So,
Yeah, before you get
it's
married.
whatever you had before you got married.
Whatever you had before.
So, I mean, so let's
yeah.
give an example.
Yeah.
If you a billionaire, right?
Right.
Before you got married, she can't have that. But whatever you make after you get married, that's totally different, right?
Yeah, but it's also, from my understanding, it's also like whatever they agree upon. Like they go a prenup, it's like, okay, I'm gonna like whatever. If we're together for 2 years, you get this amount. If I'm gonna give you, like, you can come to your terms and agree to the terms you guys want financially. It doesn't necessarily have to be. It can be what both parties agree to.
We need a prenup
See,
lawyer.
We do.
Here's your test on love. You know, you are a multimillionaire,
Right.
and you find a girl, and you are digging her. She appears to be digging you.
Right.
Are you of the mindset that you're going to ask for a prenup, or are you going to hold true to your belief in love and together forever?
Why'd you hold your hand up, Reggie?
Oh, because I wanted to say this.
Reggie,
Why wouldn't I hold my hand? Because
Did-
wait, you got to paint more pictures. Wait, you find someone you're digging, right?
Did you get
Right.
Kate a prenup?
No. But listen. No. But you're
Kate-
saying you find someone. Wait, you guys starting from zip? Or you're super rich? You
No,
gotta,
as
you
I
gotta,
said, you're a
rich.
multimillionaire.
a multimillionaire. Okay, and you find someone, you hit it off. What?
You
And
want
how
more
lo-
context? Let's say y'all been kicking out for like 8 months.
Does she
Traveling.
Prenup.
Does she know you're rich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, prenup. For me, prenup. You
Yeah.
like? Let's be smart. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
But don't you think that the prenup talk, on some level,
diminishes.
diminishes what supposedly you two have?
It
Supposedly, and again, I'm just thinking about this logically. Actually, maybe I'm thinking about it emotionally, not
Right,
logically,
right.
right? Because if we're vibing and we're good, and you know, we're thinking like, all right, we want to take this to the next level. Now,
Right.
say, yo, we can do that. I like what we have here. I like what we're building and working towards. Just sign this paperwork real quick. Like, that's not an easy conversation to have, and more importantly, I think it's not an easy conversation to receive. Now, some people will argue and say, well, if it's not about the money, it won't matter. You'll sign the prenup and everything will be good. But I can also see the other side of that, feeling like, well, what do you think my intentions are here? Like, you know, like you're asking me to sign this paperwork. Like, what do you think of me? You know, so.
it's almost like you saying we ain't gonna make it anyway. It's almost like you're already saying we're not gonna make
right.
And that's the other thing,
So-
right? Are you
So it's like, right? If
is
you
it
say,
forecasting?
forecasting, but at the end of the day, if you're gonna make it, does it matter?
it. Forecast.
Does it matter?
Foreshadowing.
Does it matter?
Four.
But does it matter? Does it? So if you're like, oh, we're gonna be together forever, this prenup is nothing. This is just making sure that you're not here for alternative
and they
reasons
would-
because you know what I have.
And then they would say on the flip side of that, oh, so you really don't love me because you don't trust me.
And that's manipulation, and that's gaslighting. So that's her gaslighting. Now you know he's
That's not
yo.
manipulation.
fair
What's
That's
what's,
fair.
what's
That's
the
fair.
That's a
The
fair
same way you
question.
could ask for a prenup and it be fair is the same way someone can like, you know, look at you and be like, I see what you're doing here, but like I have now I have concerns because like what does this mean? What do you foresee for our future? And more importantly, what do you think about me?
So what's the guy that looks like George Floyd? That was his friend,
Jackson.
Stephen Jackson, right? So Stephen Jackson had a girl he was engaged with. He told her, "Hey, sign this paper, sign the prenup, blah 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 blah, so on and so forth." She wouldn't do it. One day he was like, "Yo, you still ain't sign it?" Left her ass at the altar. It's like no.
I saw that story.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Jay-
Why? Because that just shows, like, for her not to sign the paper, like, I'll put it this way. You know, this is why I'm going to tell you, guys may get manipulated into it by gold diggers. Why?
We haven't even hit our topic. Jay.
Oh, no, this is great. This is perfect. Why? Because I'll ask you first, Ray, and then I'll ask Jeff.
What's that? What's the
Ray, so you meet a multimillionaire woman.
You don't wanna
She's
ask
got
me
it. No, listen. She's paid. She's taking you trips. Blah blah blah. You guys, and she says, "Hey, I'm feeling you. Let's get married." And she pulls out a prenup. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna sign it.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'll sign it.
What'd you say?
I would sign it.
Thank you.
Because I'm just like, yo, it don't matter to me.
So why can that not be that in reverse for a guy? Why would the woman say because she wants you to take care of her? Because she wants to make sure she secured her bag.
But flipping that situation, if she did find a guy and the guy was to be like, yo, what does this mean? Like, why do you think I'm here? I don't think that's unfair either. Just because I would sign it and somebody else isn't doesn't necessarily mean that person is maybe trying to manipulate. It just means that they're like, yo, hold up. Like, the same way you are trying to protect yourself, I get it. But, like, now I have to wonder, like, should I protect me too? Because if we're both going into this guarded, then, like, it just feels, you know, like, it just has the potential.
It feels fake.
That situation has the potential to kind of take what you're building towards and, like just throw it off track a little bit, right? So you got to be dealing with two very mature individuals, and I think the key to that is just communication. You know, like, I really think, like, that's one of those things. It's not even about finessing. It's about, like, sitting down and having a real conversation.
You said communication. That paper is communicating.
Excellent.
You ain't getting my money.
Exactly. Absolutely.